ultimate performance on the ultimate day from the ultimate warrior.
The Scandinavian sensation.
Hey. Tack för sist. Välkommen tillbaka. So this is just a little prelude to the video I'm doing. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Vikings and the history of Norway. So maybe I'll get to Swedes and Danes one of these days too. But about 2 hours ago here in Utah, it was almost 60 degrees and it was kind of windy, but it was warm and nice. I sat out in my hot tub this morning with coffee. You want the ball? Go get it. And the dogs are playing in the snow. But I just wanted to, it's pretty cool, the transformation. And it's supposed to snow like this for a couple days, and then it's supposed to be back in the 50s, I think, in a couple of days. But anyway, I wanted to say thanks for watching my channel, and if you're digging it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Our website, or our Facebook group, is called Viking Heart Life Social Group. So if you're interested in joining, all Scandinavians, people that love Scandinavia are more than welcome. We'd love to have you. It's a friendly group. Everybody's nice. And so far it's really cool. It's taken off really quick, and I'm real excited about it, and we'd love to have you if you're interested. So like I said, this is just a little prelude. I'm gonna go in and do my video. It's too freaking cold out here on Vikings. So I will be right back. Skål. Hey. Välkommen tillbaka. So I just did my outside. Got a little theme music going here, and we'll see how it goes. First time I've tried doing that. Skål. Välkommen tillbaka. I already said that. But so I've been talking about doing this for a couple of years now, talking some Viking stuff, and I thought I would just kind of do a real brief summary, kind of an overview. And of course I'm coming from a Norwegian perspective because I'm Norwegian. But our group, Viking Heart Life Social Group, is open to all Scandinavians, lovers of Scandinavia. If you go to Facebook and just type in Viking Heart Life Social Group, you'll find us. Send a request, and if you're cool, I'll approve you. No, I approve pretty much everybody. Most people are part of other groups that are part of Viking or Norwegian. And just so you know, when I talk about Viking Heart Life, this is not some hardcore Viking group. It's just I'm into Vikings, the history and the heritage, and so I like the name. Kate and I, my wife, talked about it and kind of came up with what we thought was kind of a cool name. So Viking Heart Life Social Group, if you're interested. And also, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're digging the videos. I got some of my trolls. This is just part of my collection. And all of these are from Norway. They were all bought in Norway. I bought quite a few of them, and is that music too loud? I'm going to pause for just a second. I will be right back. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. So yeah, all these trolls are from Norway. Most of them are Nyfoam, which is a brand in Norway. They're made there. And this is a little Ragnar. If you ever watch the shows Vikings, I think my daughter Hannah bought this for me, I believe. I'm asking my wife, but she's giving me I don't know look. So either Hannah or my wife bought me this. It's pretty cool. I got my Viking ship back here. That Viking ship, if you can see it, it's kind of covered up a little bit, but that I bought in Solvang, California. I want to say Solvang because that's the right way to say it. It's a Danish town in kind of central California, north of LA. But it's got a lot of Norwegian stuff in the shops too, so it's a pretty cool town. If you ever get a chance and you're up there, go check it out. It's really cool. I always like going in the shops there. So anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about Vikings. So the Viking Age basically lasted from about 850 to 875, somewhere in there as a starting range, to around 1100 to 1150, somewhere in there. And it's disputed, and you'll find people saying different things. I don't care. I'm not going to be super nitpicky on it, but that's about when it started. And the first king of Norway, and I'm sure a lot of you know this, was Harald Hallfaga, which literally translates to Harald Fairhair. Now, there's different ways or different meanings attributed to that. Fair hair can be taken as blonde, fine hair, but I actually looked into this quite a bit, and most historians think it actually meant beautiful hair. So Harald, beautiful hair. He lived from 850 to 932. So he lived to be 82 years old, which, back then is pretty old. Probably the average age in those days wasn't anywhere near that. I'm guessing more in the 40s, 30s or 40s, if it was like the rest of the world. But Norway has a really long history. So he united Norway. There are actually contradicting stories about this. 872 is kind of the date that most people put on it, but there's also 885. So he was either 22 years old or 35 years. Hey, Espa, what are you doing? Go. My dog's grabbing my microphone. So, sit. Good dog. Sit. So he was either 22 or 35, but somewhere around there, he united Norway, all these clans, into one nation. So I always say Norway was founded in 872. You'll see, if you're in Norway or in some tourist shop that has Norwegian stuff, you'll see Norway established in 1905, which to me is just offensive. Norway has been around for 1100 and something years. I mean, it's one of the oldest kingdoms in Europe, and it's been around a long time. Norway has had over 60 monarchs. Currently, right now, it's Harald V is the king of Norway right now, and he became king in 1991 when his dad died. His dad was Olav V, and his dad was Håkon VII. Håkon VII became the king of Norway in 1905 when Norway finally got their independence from Sweden. So Sweden kind of, I hate to say it, but they kind of ruled Norway from 1814 to 1905. 1814, Denmark had kind of ruled Norway since 1349. It was kind of a joint union, but the king was in Denmark. And in 1814, after the Napoleonic Wars, Denmark had to give over Norway to Sweden. So Sweden was kind of in control for, about 90 years, from 1814 to 1905. That's not right, 86. Yeah, 91 years. So 91 years, and then Norway got their full independence in 1905. And that's kind of what they celebrate as their Independence Day, kind of like we do 4th of July. But for me, as a Norwegian, I've always considered 872 the establishment of Norway. And it's been around for a long time. Got a couple of notes here. I hate looking at notes because I know most of this stuff, but when I'm on video, I don't always remember everything. So here's a couple of interesting things. So this was before the Viking Age and after the Viking Age. So I always wondered, I actually didn't know this. I just looked this up a couple hours ago. The first kind of established settlements in Norway were between 4000 and 5000 BC. And it was in the Oslofjord area. After the Ice Age, which ended around 10,000 BC, but it took a long time for all the ice to recede. Skål. And the settlements kind of spread out from there for obviously thousands of years. In 1349, the the main population centers of Norway were Oslo, Trondheim, and Bergen. And Trondheim, I think, I could be wrong on this, but I think Trondheim was the biggest with around 7,000. Oslo had around 4,000, Bergen 3,000. I could be mixing those numbers up, but it's in that neighborhood. 1349, if you know your history, was when the Black Plague, the Black Death hit Europe. And the population of Norway was actually cut in half from that. I mean, literally 1 out of every 2 people died. Young, old, didn't matter. And it was just a brutal time for all of Europe. And if I remember my history right, and don't quote me on it, I think most of Europe lost about half their population during that time. So kind of a dark period, but I am going to get more into some of the Viking stories, some of the characters from history, and do a couple podcasts about specific Viking stories. And I mentioned this in a previous podcast, but this is disputed a lot on Facebook groups, and I'm just not into the negativity part of anything. I like the positivity. I like being around positive people, and that's what I try to portray and put out there. Vikings, a lot of people will say, well, Viking isn't even a thing. Viking is a job. All right, I've said it before. I don't agree. Viking is a Viking, just like a carpenter is a carpenter, and you can disagree with me. I'm not going to be mad at you. You know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. And, gotta skip this. And it's all good. So, anyway, that's just kind of a real brief, very brief history. Oh, one more thing I was going to say. So, when Harald Fairhair died in, what did I say, 932, he had 2 sons. Erik, blood axe. I wish I could remember the name for the word for axe in Norwegian, but it was Erik. Blue is blood, and his other son was where is it? Håkon the Good. That'd probably be Håkon den Gode. Håkon, obviously, is Håkon. When you see something spelled like in our English American alphabet, you don't have the A with the little circle above it. So when somebody tries to recreate that and they don't have the Norwegian keyboard or alphabet, 2 A's together makes that O sound. So in Norwegian, and I'm not sure about Swedish, I'll look into this a little bit in Danish, but in Norwegian, you have 29 letters. You have all the letters that we have: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, set. I hope I got all of those. It's been a long time since I've done that. But we also have 3 extra letters. We have A, O, Ö. So A is the A with the little E joined together. O is the A with the circle above it. And Ö is the O with the slash through it. Ö is a very unique sound. And you know, the Y in Norwegian also makes kind of a similar sound. It's Y. And I'm not going to get into the whole alphabet here, but we have 29 letters. And there's also, New Norwegian has really caught on in the last, since I lived in Norway in 83, 84, it's really become a thing, especially in schools. So a lot of the younger people speak Nynorsk, which it's very similar. I can understand them. I can talk to them. I have the easiest time talking to people from Stavanger and Bergen because we do the kind of the R in our throats. And although if you're from Bergen, there's a saying in Bergen, and I don't agree with it because I'm from Stavanger, but they say, "Jeg er ikke fra Norge, jeg er fra Bergen." I'm not from Norway. I'm from Bergen. I'm very proud of my city, Stavanger. Stavanger is probably one of the wealthier cities in Norway because of the North Sea oil. Oh, I'm trying to remember when that was discovered. I want to say the 1950s or probably the 1950s, 60s, somewhere in there. We moved from Norway in 68, and it was already a thing. So pretty much everybody in Norway speaks English. And my son and I have talked about going back maybe this year. He works for an airline now, so he gets either free or next to free flights. And we're talking about renting an Airbnb. Hopefully my wife and maybe more of the family can come too. But anyway, there's a little brief history of Vikings, and I will go into more detail because I know if you're into this, this is like, yeah, I know all this shit, crap. But, you know, some of you don't know anything about it. And I've had several requests to talk a little more Norwegian and say what I'm saying. So, det var så kjekt å snakke med dere. It's so fun to talk to all of you. Kjekt, K-J-E-K-T, means fun. Det var så kjekt å snakke med dere. Snakke is talk. And jeg sitter på en stol her. Dette en stol. This is a chair. Dette her fyr. This is fire. And disse her mine troller. These are my trolls. So maybe we'll do a little tutorial now and then. Maybe I'll do. So I really am trying to get to where I'm going to do a video every Tuesday and every Saturday and be way more consistent with this stuff. And I'm working on it. I'm super busy. I'm on the road all the time. Although I am working on maybe starting a new business here in Utah where I get to be home more with a buddy of mine. And fingers crossed that's going to work out. So I think that's it for now. Hopefully it's something fun, some information maybe you didn't know. And if you did know, maybe it refreshed your memory. Or if it didn't refresh your memory, you had fun watching it anyway. Because it's all about fun and having a good time. Don't forget our group, Viking Heart Life Social Group. Fun group, great people. It's growing fast. I started it less than 2 weeks ago, I think. And we're at 257 members last time I checked. So if you know anybody that loves Scandinavia, loves Viking history, Norwegian, Swedish, Danish, and I include Finland, Denmark, and even the Faroe Islands in that. I know a lot don't consider that Scandinavia, but for our purposes, hey, we're a welcoming group. We want everybody here. So till nästa gång vi snackar snart igen. Till next time, we'll talk soon again. Och det var så käckt att snacka med er. Tusen tack! Thank you so much for watching. I hope you dig it. I hope you give me a thumbs up. And I hope your week is fantastic. Ha det! I knew when I did the alphabet that I forgot a couple of letters. So I forgot X and Y. X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z. So I thought I'd throw this in there because somebody will say, man, you don't know your alphabet. I do. I just, you get doing the video and you just kind of space shit. So anyway, I thought I'd throw that in there. Cheers, skål, ha det gott.
The ultimate performance on the ultimate day from the ultimate